Everyone has dreams, and everyone has fantasies. But what happens when these fantasies bleed over into reality? Welcome to 4x3.
Christy, get down on your knees so Sabrina can see your asshole.
Within old Hollywood, the Motion Picture Production Code, also known as the Hays Code, was a guideline of self-imposed industry standards. When these restrictions became too difficult to monitor, men created the current rating system, setting the boundaries that they would eventually dominate.
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
The end of the Hays Code allowed men to finally flaunt their interests, and over time, that started to include lesbians.
Two possible lesbians in their bras and panties.
Lesbians? Did you say lesbians? Hot lesbians.
Since more men hold positions of power in the film industry, they've had an incentive to market to other men. This fosters a level of normalized sexploitation that Hollywood has come to rely on. Yet, we rarely see lesbians in writing or directing positions. Allowing only men to write and direct queer female characters with no lesbian input reduces their experiences down to three simple things. A fetish?
I have no idea, but I love you. I want to make beautiful lesbian babies with both of you.
A joke?
Nice one, Doris.
Nothing like a bit of girl on girl.
Or a product?
What, did you have some sort of Leslie wet dream about me? Stop. Oh my God. Oh my God. You did. You fantasized about me. Shut up.
The male gaze, a prominent element of popular media, shows the world through the lens of straight men and often portrays women as sexual conquests rather than fully realized people.
You're hiring me?
Oh, give me some.
Whoa.
Oh, God.
Why are they acting like that?
Yes.
Because of this mindset, lesbianism is seen as a sexual exploit and not as an actualized demographic.
What? It's rude. Man, when are we ever gonna get a chance to see this kind of shit live without paying for it?
This fantasy creates a world where all women are available for male pleasure, and if they aren't, they can be influenced to become available through heartfelt emotional confessions.
But I know that some part of you is hesitating for a moment. And if there's a moment of hesitation, then that means you feel something too. And all I ask, please, is that you just not dismiss that.
And again.
A fucking untouchable, unhavable, unattainable brick wall fucking Dicosaurus Rexi. So it's sad, okay? What do you want me to do? I feel fucking sadness about that.
And again.
I mean, what is it? Just tell me. You can tell me.
Can I?
Yes.
Can I?
We've always been honest
Have
with
we?
each other.
Have we?
Yes.
And again.
Another thing that's even more inappropriate, but it's super safe because you're a lesbian. If I were differently equipped or you were differently inclined, this night might go a very different way. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're just saying.
Convincing women to experiment with one another comes from a place of self-indulgence. It's not about allowing women to explore a sexual side of themselves, it's about catering to the man's ego. The women seek affirmation for their performance, letting the man direct them without a hint of their own genuine curiosity or autonomy. Even when uninvolved, men often twist lesbianism into a power play.
Not such a bad deal.
No, you're not a bad deal.
When these things pass.
What things?
These passing things. Just think, please. Please just think before you speak.
When lesbianism can't be used to their advantage, men victimize themselves and villainize the woman, or women, that rejected them. If a pursuit is seen as a failure, it's never the man's fault. It's lesbianism's fault.
I just don't think people our age are mature enough to experience those kind of emotions.
Are you a lesbian?
No?
I didn't mean to offend you. I just picked up on a little bit of that lesbian vibe.
Since men disproportionately control the film industry, their values have influenced the representation of on-screen characters. A film that upholds traditional gender roles will reject a female character who breaks the mold of heteronormativity, even if they are straight. This framing molds them into a skeleton of a stereotype. Sometimes goth, sometimes masculine, sometimes sporty, and usually white. Hollywood upholds whiteness and straightness as the default, but these characters end up representing gay stereotypes. Even if they are straight, the stereotyping is the base reason for their societal exile.
I read Sylvia Plath, I listen to Bikini Kill, and I eat tofu. I'm a unique rebel.
Sounds more like you're a lesbo.
From a woman's point of view, this over-sexualization of lesbians grows more complex.
Haven't you ever practiced on one of your girlfriends?
Ew, no. It's gross.
This perspective often presents a catch-22. Lesbians either exist as abnormalities that must remain hidden, or the other women must expose these lesbians because they are seen as predatory even if they're very young. This point of view never affords lesbians the nuance to just simply exist.
I was like, Janice, I can't invite you because I think you're a lesbian. I mean, I couldn't have a lesbian at my party. There are gonna be girls there in their bathing suits. I mean, right? She was a lesbian.
We see women push back against lesbianism like it is something to be ashamed of or mocked. These learned behaviors stem from the idea that if a woman is not sexually useful for men, they are essentially useless and a joke.
How about some public affection, girls? It's like, how low could you possibly get?
Comedy, another entity within male-dominated Hollywood, remains one of the many tools for coping with life's absurdities and pastimes, including sexuality.
You and her?
It was just a phase.
Just a phase?
You had a sexy phase?
However, comedy can often veer into an unhealthy territory and punch down, reinforcing, rather than questioning, what society sees as traditional values. Over time, it becomes easier for this influence to take hold when there's less pushback.
Okay, I'm just gonna do it real fast. There we go. There they are. There they are. Wow.
Hence why these comedians rarely seek out lesbians to help write their lesbian jokes. If they interacted with lesbians on a human level, they'd gain a new perspective that would challenge the validity of their humor. Lesbian humor has value. Not every lesbian story has to involve pain, suffering, or existential crisis.
My girl.
We'll probably just do a Korean face mask.
Well, I don't need to know all the words.
Just like other people, lesbians enjoy sex, they chase their dreams, experience confusion, and harbor unique personalities with entire life stories. True representation affords lesbians the space for authenticity and creativity, and the lack thereof results in cynical marketing. And marketing loves to exploit lesbianism.
God damn it, girls. You're gonna do that shit? Do it on stage!
According to Natalie Portman, Black Swan's production team had concerns with attracting an audience to a ballet film, quoting, "How do you get guys to a ballet movie? How do you get girls to a thriller? The answer is a lesbian scene. Everyone wants to see that." While there's no issue with including lesbian subplots or characters, leaning on these elements for a film's advertising begs the question, why are they actually in the film?
Kiss her again. Do it.
Jules Moreau's graphic novel, Blue is the Warmest Color, told a story about a lesbian couple dealing with homophobia in the 1990s in France. The film adaptation diverged greatly from the source material, with the writer-director taking the queer elements from the graphic novel and combining it with his preconceived story regarding class dynamics. The film attracted significant festival buzz for the explicit sex scenes between the two female leads. Moreau, a self-identifying lesbian, described these scenes as lifeless and pornographic, among other problems with the adaptation. Once audiences saw the scenes, they began to laugh at the ridiculousness of them, further emphasizing that lesbians are nothing but a spectacle and marketing ploy. While speculation won't reveal the filmmaker's true motivations, transforming a story filled with distinct lesbian experiences into an irresponsibly produced pontification on class still provided the filmmakers a successful outcome. The adaptation of Blue is the Warmest Color featured fictional lesbians, but never actually involved real lesbians. Teasing relationships is another classic marketing tactic in order for studios to claim representation with the most minimal effort.
Here you go. Ooh! Oh, my.
On the surface, it looks great to have incidental inclusion, but sideswiping lesbian relationships make them look like an afterthought or a nuisance. Despite these representations being as palatable as possible, it appeals mainly to audiences who might tolerate but don't really understand lesbian relationships. Lesbian stories don't need to be capitalized on in order to be good. Their stories carry value on their own, and giving agency to lesbian creators allows us to expand our understanding of an underrepresented demographic.
Denise, Shelly, oh wait, that's an old one, I could delete that one. So Tanya.
Hold up. Naya, ain't Shelly that chick from your math class?
We see their sexuality, their humor, and no longer view them as a simple cash grab. Instead, we just see lesbians. As filmmaking technology evolves, filmmakers whose voices were previously excluded from the film industry are being heard and recognized. Within the newest LGBT rights movement, we have seen a push and a reaction for inclusion at every level of the filmmaking process. We see over and over again that once we allow a marginalized group to tell their stories, we find individuality and innovation while also learning empathy.
Holy fuck! What's the meaning of this shit?
Boy with apple, I thought you did.
Why are you only noticing
now?
Let's go watch the movies.